You've tried to move on, but your mind keeps going back. You know it's time to let go, yet part of you holds on. What if the key isn't in forgetting them, but in understanding yourself first? Letting go of someone can feel confusing and heavy, especially when your mind keeps returning to old memories and old versions of yourself. Inspired by Carl Jung's focus on self-awareness and inner growth, you learn to look inward with honesty instead of avoiding your feelings. You see how your thoughts, habits, and patterns play a role in holding on. As you understand yourself more clearly, you create space for change. This process is not about forgetting the past, but about freeing your energy so you can move forward with clarity and strength. The first way is to recognize your inner state. Slow down and give yourself a moment to observe what is happening inside you. Notice the tension in your body, the thoughts that keep circling, and the feelings you may have been trying to ignore. Let these emotions show up without forcing them away. Allow yourself to admit that you feel hurt, frustrated, confused, or unsettled. When you face your inner state directly, you stop adding extra pressure to move on before you are ready. See this step as creating a clear map of where you actually are. Without this awareness, you move blindly, reacting instead of choosing. With it, you can understand how deeply the situation affected you and what you need next. Recognizing your inner state does not fix everything instantly, but it gives you the honesty and clarity that every other step depends on. The second way is to identify what the connection meant to you. Take a moment to reflect on what this person represented in your life. Think beyond the surface of who they were and look at the role they played for you. Were they a source of comfort, a challenge, or a mirror showing you something about yourself? Understanding this is not about assigning blame or reliving the past. It's about gaining clarity. Ask yourself why the attachment felt so important. What needs, desires, or patterns did it fulfill? By examining the connection honestly, you begin to separate the person from the part of you that leaned on them. You see that some of what you are holding on to is not really about them. It's about what you were seeking, learning, or experiencing in yourself. This step allows you to release the grip the past has on you. When you understand the meaning behind the connection, letting go becomes less about loss and more about completing a chapter in your own growth. You create space to focus on who you are, not just who was in your life. The third way is to separate your identity from the past. Remind yourself that your sense of self does not depend on anyone else. You are not defined by this person, their choices, or your shared history. Take a clear look at who you are now, independent of the connection, and focus on your own qualities, strengths, and values. Notice how easy it is to let someone else's presence shape your decisions, your mood, or even your sense of worth. Now, take a step back and reclaim that power. Understand that your identity exists on its own, and it can grow in ways that are fully yours. By separating yourself from the past, you stop carrying someone else's influence unnecessarily. You allow your thoughts, actions, and emotions to belong to you alone. This is a crucial step in letting go because it shifts your focus from attachment to autonomy, from longing to self-ownership. The fourth way is to allow emotional discomfort without avoiding it. When you let go of someone, strong feelings will come up: frustration, sadness, anger, or even emptiness. The natural reaction is to push these feelings away, distract yourself, or tell yourself you shouldn't feel them. Instead, face them directly. Sit with the discomfort and notice it without judgment. Pay attention to how it moves through your body and mind. Breathe, stay present, and resist the urge to escape. By allowing yourself to fully experience these emotions, you reduce their power over you. Understand that discomfort is temporary, and a necessary part of growth. Each time you confront it rather than avoid it, you train yourself to be resilient. This step teaches you that you can handle difficult feelings, which makes letting go less frightening and more manageable. The fifth way to let go is to release the story you keep repeating. Notice the narrative that plays in your mind over and over, the what-ifs, the regrets, the explanations. This story keeps you tied to the past and makes it hard to move forward. Recognize that much of it is based on interpretation rather than fact. You don't need to believe every thought or relive every memory. Start letting go of the parts that keep you stuck. Rewrite the story in your mind in a way that honors what happened but doesn't trap you in it. By releasing this repeated story, you free your mind from unnecessary loops of thought. You stop feeding the attachment and begin to focus your energy on your own growth, clarity, and forward movement. The sixth way to let go is to create distance in your daily life. Reduce reminders that pull your thoughts back to them. This could be physical spaces, objects, or habitual routines that keep the connection alive in your mind. Give yourself the room to breathe and think clearly without constant triggers. Distance doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending the connection never existed. It means protecting your mental and emotional space so you can process and move forward. By stepping back, you allow yourself to observe your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Creating this space is a practical way to reclaim control. It gives you the clarity to focus on yourself and your path, rather than being caught in the momentum of past attachments. The seventh way to let go is to build new personal routines. Introduce habits and activities that strengthen your independence and give your life structure. This could be anything that supports your growth, focus, and well-being. When you create intentional routines, you fill your time with actions that reflect your own priorities, rather than revolving around someone else. Focus on small, consistent steps that reinforce your sense of self. This could be dedicating time to personal projects, learning something new, or simply establishing daily practices that center you. Each routine becomes a way to anchor yourself in your own life. By building these routines, you shift your energy toward personal growth and away from lingering attachment. You create a foundation that supports your emotional balance and empowers you to move forward with purpose. The eighth way to let go is to redirect your attention toward your own goals. Focus on what truly matters to you, your ambitions, your skills, your personal growth. Set clear, achievable objectives that excite you and give your life direction. When you actively pursue your own path, your energy moves away from what you've lost and toward what you can build. Break your goals into small steps and commit to taking action each day. Even minor progress reinforces your independence and sense of purpose. Remind yourself that your life is yours to shape, and that investing in yourself is the most effective way to move forward. By keeping your attention on your own growth, you reduce the power that past attachments hold over you. You reclaim control of your focus, your time, and your energy, creating momentum that carries you away from what no longer serves you. The ninth way to let go is to understand what the experience taught you. Look at the situation not to dwell on loss, but to recognize what it revealed about yourself. Consider the patterns, choices, or behaviors it highlighted. Ask yourself what you learned about your needs, your boundaries, or your strengths. Use this insight as a tool for growth. When you see what the experience taught you, you can make more informed decisions in the future and avoid repeating the same patterns. Understanding your part in the story gives you a sense of clarity and control. By focusing on the lessons rather than the loss, you shift from feeling stuck to feeling empowered. Each insight becomes a step forward, helping you move on with wisdom and self-awareness. The 10th way to let go is to practice consistent self-compassion. Treat yourself with patience and kindness as you navigate this process. Recognize that letting go is not instant. It takes time, effort, and repeated practice. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you care about, offering understanding instead of criticism. Acknowledge every small step forward, no matter how minor it seems. Remind yourself that setbacks are natural and do not erase your progress. By consistently showing compassion toward yourself, you reduce the pressure and guilt that often keep you tied to the past. Self-compassion strengthens your resilience and helps you maintain focus on your own growth. It allows you to move forward gently, with clarity, confidence, and the patience to fully let go. If you've tried many ways to let go, and nothing seems to work, first, don't judge yourself. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're failing. It means the attachment is deeply rooted, and your mind and emotions need more time to adjust. Letting go is not a simple one-time action. It's a process that unfolds gradually, often in layers. Understand that some connections persist because they are tied to old patterns, unmet needs, or parts of your identity that you are still discovering. Instead of forcing yourself to move on, focus on observing your inner state with honesty. Notice the thoughts, impulses, and feelings that keep pulling you back. Each time you observe without judgment, you gain a little more insight into your own mind. Take smaller, consistent steps toward your own growth. Even if it feels like progress is slow, every choice to redirect your attention, set boundaries, or strengthen your independence matters. Practice self-compassion relentlessly. Remind yourself that it is natural to feel stuck and that patience is part of the process. Remember, the goal is not to erase the past, but to reduce its power over you. With consistent effort, reflection, and care for yourself, clarity and freedom will emerge. Sometimes letting go happens quietly, in small shifts that you notice only after time has passed. Trust that your persistence, self-awareness, and commitment to yourself are creating the space for true release, even if it doesn't feel immediate. Letting go is not a one-time achievement, it's an ongoing process that requires attention, practice, and self-awareness. After you have faced challenges and worked through your emotions, the next step is to maintain the progress you've made and continue moving forward. This involves building habits and mindsets that reinforce independence and clarity. First, stay consistent with the practices that helped you let go. Continue observing your inner state, reflecting on your thoughts, and redirecting your focus to your own goals. Even when the attachment seems distant, small reminders or triggers may still appear. When they do, respond with the same awareness and self-compassion you have cultivated, rather than falling back into old patterns. Second, reinforce your personal growth. Focus on activities, projects, or routines that strengthen your sense of self. When you intentionally direct your energy toward what matters to you, it becomes easier to resist being pulled back into old attachments. This is not about distraction. It's about building a life that aligns with your values and priorities. Third, continue to reflect on the lessons the experience taught you. Check in with yourself regularly. What patterns are emerging? What triggers are still difficult to manage? How has your understanding of yourself evolved? Reflection helps you internalize the progress you've made and prevents old patterns from quietly taking root again. Fourth, cultivate patience and self-compassion. Moving forward doesn't mean perfection or constant momentum. There will be moments when you feel pulled back, when emotions resurface, or when progress slows. These moments are natural and do not erase the work you've done. Treat yourself with kindness and curiosity rather than judgment, and remind yourself that growth takes time. Finally, embrace your evolving identity. As you maintain progress, you start to notice a shift in your sense of self. You are more independent, more aware, and more capable of handling life's emotional challenges. Celebrate these changes and allow yourself to step into the future without carrying unnecessary weight from the past. By maintaining your progress, you create a life that supports freedom, clarity, and self-awareness. Letting go becomes less about struggle and more about living intentionally, with each choice reinforcing your independence and strength. Over time, you'll notice that the attachment loosens naturally, replaced by a deeper understanding of yourself and what truly matters in your life. Healing comes after letting go. It's the phase where your mind and emotions truly begin to settle and integrate the experience. Letting go alone does not erase the impact someone had on your life. Healing is about understanding, processing, and learning from the experience, while rebuilding your emotional balance and strengthening your sense of self. Start by fully acknowledging your emotions. Grief, anger, confusion, or even relief may surface, sometimes all at once. Accept each feeling without judgment. Resist the urge to rush or suppress them. Every emotion is a signal about your inner state, a doorway to understanding yourself more deeply. Jung emphasized observing the self with honesty. Facing your emotions head-on is a critical part of this process. Next, focus on self-reflection. Consider what this experience revealed about your needs, patterns, and boundaries. Ask yourself, what did this connection teach me about what I truly value? Where did I compromise myself? Which parts of my reactions reflect old habits I want to change? Reflecting in this way transforms past pain into insight. Giving the experience a purpose beyond the initial hurt. Nurture yourself actively. Healing isn't just emotional, it's practical and intentional. Create routines that center you, engage in activities that bring satisfaction and growth, and set aside time to focus on your own development. By prioritizing yourself, you reinforce your independence and remind yourself that your well-being matters. Integration is the next step. Accept that the experience is part of your history, but do not let it define you. Take the lessons it offers and weave them into the way you approach life, relationships, and personal goals. This could mean setting clearer boundaries, making choices that reflect your values, or cultivating habits that strengthen your emotional resilience. Understand that healing is gradual and ongoing. Even after you feel a sense of closure, memories or emotions may resurface unexpectedly. When they do, meet them with awareness, patience, and self-compassion. Each encounter is an opportunity to reinforce your emotional strength and reaffirm the freedom you've built. Finally, recognize the transformative power of healing. Over time, letting go and healing together allow you to reclaim your life with clarity, purpose, and inner balance. You move forward not by erasing the past, but by learning from it, growing stronger, and creating space for a life that reflects who you are today, aware, resilient, and fully present. After letting go and giving yourself time to heal, the next step is to move forward with clarity and strength. This means living intentionally, making choices that reflect your values, and staying connected to your own growth. Start by taking stock of your life and priorities. Focus on what truly matters to you, your goals, passions, and the qualities you want to cultivate in yourself. Use the lessons from the past to guide your decisions, but don't let them limit your possibilities. Every choice you make now is an opportunity to reinforce your independence and build a life aligned with who you are. Maintain practices that support your awareness and resilience. Continue observing your inner state, practicing self-compassion, and reflecting on your experiences. These habits prevent old attachments or patterns from quietly taking root again. Over time, they become part of your daily approach to life, strengthening your emotional stability and confidence. Embrace change as a natural part of growth. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting your past. It means integrating it, learning from it, and allowing it to inform better choices without controlling your present. The clarity you gain from this perspective helps you respond to challenges with composure rather than being pulled into old reactions. Finally, recognize your own strength. You've faced attachment, worked through discomfort, reflected on yourself, and committed to growth. Each of these steps has made you more resilient, self-aware, and capable of handling life's challenges. Moving forward with clarity and strength is about carrying this resilience into every choice, action, and intention, creating a life that is fully your own. Letting go creates an opportunity not just to release the past, but to explore who you truly are. This is the time to turn your attention inward and discover aspects of yourself you may not have noticed before. Every emotion, reflection, and step you take during this process reveals something about your patterns, values, and potential. Ask yourself questions like, who am I when I am not defined by another person? What do I want to prioritize in my life? Which qualities do I want to cultivate in myself? These reflections help you reconnect with your authentic self and guide you toward choices that reflect your true nature. Experiment with new habits, interests, or perspectives. Try activities or approaches that challenge you, inspire curiosity, or strengthen your independence. Jung emphasized the importance of integrating different parts of the self. Embracing self-discovery allows you to recognize strengths, acknowledge vulnerabilities, and create a more balanced, whole version of yourself. Understand that self-discovery is ongoing. You will continue to uncover new layers of your personality, desires, and potential as you grow. Celebrate these insights and use them as a compass for decision-making, personal growth, and building a life that reflects your values. By embracing self-discovery, you transform letting go from an act of loss into a journey of empowerment. It becomes a process of knowing yourself more deeply, living intentionally, and creating a future that aligns with your authentic identity. Letting go is not a single moment. It is a journey of awareness, courage, and growth. By observing your inner state, understanding your patterns, and practicing self-compassion, you have taken steps toward reclaiming your life and your sense of self. As you move forward, remember that every challenge, every reflection, and every small act of self-care contributes to your strength. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means choosing freedom over attachment and clarity over confusion. Embrace the lessons the experience has given you. Allow them to shape your decisions, guide your growth, and deepen your understanding of who you are. Through healing, reflection, and self-discovery, you emerge stronger, wiser, and more fully yourself.